Welcome back to North Dakota Today. Now, last week we began our discussion on some of the challenges parents can have taking their children out in public. You know what I'm talking about, right? So today, Sara, Erickson, and Hayle Hauser are back from Red Door Pediatric Therapy to continue that discussion. Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's just start out right off by saying, what signs is the child going to exhibit before a total meltdown occurs? How can you tell when things are about to, come off the track?
Right, so the child would be more fidgety, they might be more impulsive, so grabbing more things, they might be talking faster, and those are just some signs that you can tell that they're just starting to maybe getting a little overwhelmed.
And when you see that happening, what do you do?
So right away you want to intervene with like a calming coping strategy or a fidget, something that they can distract them. So like a coloring book or a regular book or some kind of stuffed animal that they would prefer.
Okay, you're sitting in a shopping cart, what do you do?
Yeah, the same thing. They can color, they can play a game. You can play I Spy with them, like, hey, we're gonna play I Spy. I notice your body's getting a little busy. We need something to do to distract you.
Okay, now if the meltdown does happen, which is of course what we were trying to avoid in the first place, now what?
And it will. It's going to happen sometime in your life. So just try to stay calm. The calmer that you are, that kind of bounces off onto your child. And know that you're not alone because it happens to everyone.
So often the threats come out. If you don't stop this, we're going to go home and take a nap. You're going to have to go right to bed, that sort of thing.
I think that sometimes, depending on the child, that might even make it a little bit worse. So if you can really focus on trying to find a quiet spot in the store or something away from everyone else so there's not as much stimulation or not as much going on, and really just validate the child's feelings too. Like, I see that you're upset, so that they know, like, you're not seeing me. I'm aware that you're upset, but this is what we're here to do. And then, like Hayle mentioned, really just trying to distract them. And sometimes you don't even have to tell them that you're doing that,
Right. I'm distracting you right now.
Yeah, like, can you help me find, maybe it's something in your purse, or can you help me look in the cart, I can't find this. So just try to keep them busy and redirect them or distract them from that. And also just really use a calm voice, maybe demonstrate your own deep breathing so that they can kind of see what you're doing and mimic that, and try to limit the language that you're using. So don't talk and try to resolve it in that moment, like talking through, but really just trying to minimize how much language you're using.
So don't explain to them why they're feeling that way?
Yeah. Maybe
Okay.
wait until you get home.
Yeah, if the child doesn't calm down, then what?
Then we have to keep them safe and everyone around them safe. If they're not having a good experience, we need to take them out and remove them from the situation, and then just later on when our bodies are calm, just reinforce why we remove them from the situation and what our bodies need to look like.
Well, most of the time, kids want to please their parents. They don't, right? They don't
Right.
want to feel out of control either. That doesn't feel good, even though you think they're, just doing it to push your buttons. That isn't necessarily the case, right?
No, I think a lot of the times it's just that overstimulation, and they're not necessarily in control of it, like they might start getting a little bit overwhelmed and then they just don't know what to do with their bodies. So it looks more like they're being naughty, but really it's them trying to figure it out.
And actually, when you think about it, parents, if you think about the times that you lose control, maybe lose your temper, start yelling at somebody or whatever, it's kind of similar, right? Yeah. So I think that maybe a little bit of understanding can go a long way. But also, when you get into a situation, like you said, where it's not safe to be there,
Right.
sometimes you just have to abort.
Right.
Abort the mission.
Let's leave. The mission is over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and what about embarrassment? I think parents sometimes are embarrassed, or they feel like they're bad parents, or that others are looking at them as if they're bad parents when it happens.
Yeah, I think we just have to know that, like I mentioned, you're not alone. This happens, and as long as you're trying, to prepare them before, and have some strategies, hopefully it won't happen. But if it does, it's life. It does happen.
Sometimes parents need to give themselves a break too, right?
Yes.
It's like, okay, nobody's perfect. We maybe didn't say the perfect thing or do the right thing, but we can still fix it.
Yep.
We can still do it now.
Yeah, and as Hayle mentioned, then when everybody's calm and you're out of that environment, then you can talk about it. Talk about what the child could have done. Talk about what you could have done. Maybe there was,
right. Maybe you contributed
two
by
sides of the
being a little bit crabby or
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, if people need help or they need more advice, where can they find you?
Yeah, they can find us at Red Door Pediatric Therapy. We have a clinic here in Bismarck and also in Minot. You can reach us at 701-222-3175.
All right, the important thing is if you need some help with your kiddos, reach out. Don't just try to go through it alone.
Yep.
All right, thank you so much for
Yes.
being here.